Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This deck profile has taken a lot of work. It's been a project and I want to share it with you today. It is Yellow Vaccine ShinMonzaemon the deck profile for EX5. It took me 13 matches to get this to the 69% win rate and get a build that I'm comfortable with on the EX5 Malga and Anubis meta. I can't begin to tell you how much of a struggle it was to get this deck to work, but it felt so good after hours and hours to come up with a deck build that works and is good against the EX5 meta. I know EX5 is almost over and this becomes obsolete really soon, but you can take this with the new BT15 cards and you can just have fun with it because we're getting things like new Mon X and all this stuff. So I want to share with you guys this deck profile. Before I do, two things I want to mention to you. One, you've seen quite a few yellow deck profiles on the channel lately. Like, I haven't uploaded many deck profiles, but the ones that I have been yellow, the last few I think. And that's intentional, because I'm kind of sort of trying to rebrand myself to be the yellow guy. Because I'm a good player, and if I pick a color and stick with it, it might be really cool. So, I'm the yellow guy, here's a yellow deck, here you go. The second thing is I need you to take this deck open with a very open mind. You're going to see some ratios in this deck, some cards in this deck that are like, Mario, are you on crack? Are you on drugs? What are you doing? Like, what are you smoking? Can I have the crack pipe that you smoked? And what I'm going to ask is that before you judge, play 13 matches and then tell me it's bad. That's all I'm going to say. Because the first couple matches, I had to really do some tinkering. And after that, it got a lot smoother. And also, you need to play it right. This is one of those decks that you can't misplay with. You make one misplay, you're fucked. You're dead. So, again, take it with an open mind. Keep everything, your thought and your thought process available for analysis. And make sure you understand what every card is intended to do to pull off your little niche combos so the deck can flow nicely. Okay? Alright, okay? Alright, good. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll start with the eggs. And yes, this is a yellow vaccine deck with black eggs. Yeah, we're starting off weird. The reason why we're playing black eggs is because we're playing black rookies. We are playing black rookies because they are better than yellow rookies in this deck. I've tried it, there's just no way to do it. And to those of you who say, well, wait. Padamon's a good yellow rookie, you're playing yellow vaccine, what's going on? Well, the problem is, you gotta play new Mons in your champions. Did you know that Numemons are not vaccine cards? They're actually virus cards. So Patamon does nothing in this deck. It's a yellow vaccine deck where Patamon is useless. And then you can play a security Digimon like Harrismon for the ShinMonzaemon. Harrismon's like, it's whatever. Not that good. So anyway, black eggs is the way. I've tried it. Both ways, it has to be black. You cannot go back to yellow. It's gotta be black. So the question is, what black egg do you play in this deck that makes it worth it? Well, this is the correct answer, and the only answer in my opinion. It is ShinMonzaemon. It is your turn once per turn, one of your other Digimon Digivolves, draw one. This is the egg you play in that Omni Alteress deck. What you do with this egg is really simple. You evolve Rookie in the back, turn 1, you play a champion Numemon, turn 2 you promote, you evolve the Numemon into something, you draw for Evolution, draw for ShinMonzaemon. It helps you get cards. That's what the card what's there for. It's better than Pokemon in this deck because we are playing a lot of yellow cards. Pokemon would often miss. So ShinMonzaemon is just the egg for this deck. Alright, cool? Happy? Okay. Let's move right along here to something else. Before I start talking about the security Digimon, I'm playing 4 copies of this Chikurimon. All turns, players cannot reduce play costs. You need this card for Anubis. I wish there was another way. When I started, I was playing 2. You need 4, because you need to be able to stop Anubismon shenanigans. You have to. There's like no choice, unfortunately. You have to dedicate the deck space, you gotta play the Chikurimon. Just gotta do it. Just have to do it. There's no other way. I'm sorry. But now on the security Digimon, we're playing 4 copies of this Chikurimon. This Chikurimon's annoying, because at the security at the end of the battle, you de-digivolve something. That's nice. Have you played against Anubismon, where they went Anubis, Merva, 2 stuff, and they swing with something, and then you get Chikurimon, you digivolve the Merva, all of a sudden they can't win the game anymore, or have rush with other stuff? It's a really good ability. It's also good against a lot of other decks too, like Malga. Really good against that. If they're like going into a Malga chain and they're swinging with Workaroo-mons, all of a sudden they're back down to their champion, and then like they need another ultimate to kind of get back up there. It's annoying. It's an annoying card to deal with in security, which is why I'm playing 4 copies of it. And lastly, we're playing copies of Doremon, 2 copies. I was playing 4. Deck space is really tight. I ended up swapping this, two copies of this, with 2 copies of the Jakurimon, the Floodgate one. Doremon is really cool. Has a security effect at this end of the battle. Real top 4, you card your deck. If it's a black Digimon, play cost 4 or less, play it. Otherwise it goes to your hand, and add that rookie Doremon to your hand. You know, it's a good card in theory. The problem is that in a meta filled with Anubismon and soon to be Apocalymon for a couple weeks, the Jakurimon is just a lot better than Doremon. So I had to make a cut because deck space is extremely tight, and it was Doremon's. If you can find room to play two more Doremons, I would, but not at the expense of cutting your 8 Jakurimons. Okay, good. On to the champions. We play 8, and they're all Numemons. 4 copies of the RB1 Numemon on the leash in the top 3 cards of your deck. Add a Monzaemon card and a Numemon card to your hand, and bomb deck the rest. And then Inheritable Blocker. It's a good fine card. Gets you cards. It's good. It's the best Numemon right now, honestly. The second best Numemon goes to this right here. BT14 Numemon on play when evolving by placing one Satsuki, Taka, whoever from your hand to the bottom of the source. One of your Digimon gains Rush. Very good play is to stick the Tamer underneath it and then swing with it. The Tamer gives it jamming and reboot, and then you just end of turn unmind link the Tamer. It's pretty good. Inheritable Blocker as well is nice. So yeah, these are our Numemons we play. They're just the best 2 Numemons right now. I haven't really wanted to play any of the Numemons. That changes the BT15, but for now it's fine. On to Ultimates. The reason why we call this a Yellow Vaccine ShinMonzaemon deck is because the rest of our top end is Vaccine. We're not doing any other weird stuff here. We're playing 4 copies of this Monzaemon. This is the best Monzaemon in the game right now. I can understand why it's a very expensive rare. It's an RB1. It evolves for 3 on your Numemon, so it will always evolve for 3. It has an on-play effect where you can play a Sukamon underneath it to gain 2 memory. It's cool. It does technically get around the Jakurimon Floodgate because you're not reducing the play cost, you're gaining the memory after the fact. So it's pretty cool that way. It has an on-play when evolving effect. When your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP and sec -1 till the end of the turn. It combos well with other cards we're playing, which we'll get to soon. Really good. And then Inheritable sec +1 if it's a Monzaemon or Numemon. So not too bad there, honestly. Then we play 4 copies of the worst Monzaemon. This is the one that comes out in BT14, evolves for 3 on your Numemons, has Armor Purge, and on play the same thing. Gain 2 memory by sticking a Sukamon or Numemon underneath it. It's just a worse version of the other card. Armor Purge is not really worth it in my opinion. Also has the same sec +1 Inheritable. It's just there because it's a Yellow Vaccine Monzaemon. That's all it is. Now we move on to Megas. And of course, we're playing 4 copies of ShinMonzaemon, the boss monster in this deck. This will evolve for 4 on your Numemon or Monzaemon cards, so it's great. Windage Evolving effect, place all level 3 Digimon from both players' fields on top of their securities, and then all your opponent's level 4 or higher Digimon, global effect, get minus 3000, and they get sec -1. So, yes, you do occasionally put Jakurimon and the Doremon in your security, and it feels really good. Usually you're not putting anything in your opponent's security. Good boss monster. But it doesn't stop there. It has a one attacking effect that states by trashing a card with Numemon in the sources of this card, you place one of your opponent's Digimon face down at the bottom of the security stack. So it lonkies something, which is really nice. Gets around all that annoying protection that like the Greymon cards have, for instance. Just stick a big boss monster into their security. It does cool things. I'm a big fan of bouncing Anubismons and Mermamons into security because, you know, purple, that deck is really good at recurring resources, and by getting rid of those cards, it makes it a little bit harder to get them back. And same for any other deck as well. So yeah, it's your boss monster. It's the deck that the boss monster is themed around. It's good. It's fun. And you get value if you can put your Jakurimons and Doremons into security. It's really nice. Now, the secondary boss monster is also a Yellow Vaccine Mega Boss monster, Venusmon. Venusmon does really well in this deck. You will have turns where like you evolve one stack into Venusmon, which shuts them down, and then you have another stack, turn 2, where you evolve it into ShinMonzaemon. And then it reapplies the -1, which turns on Venusmon all over again. It's disgusting and gross. And I have multi-turn locked people before with that combo. It's pretty nuts. It's really cool. So, yeah. Ways you play this deck is like you play your Numamons, you build a stack in the back, you evolve your Numamon up front, hopefully with the Armor Purge guy, and then that one turns into Venusmon, and the next turn you turn your second stack into a ShinMonzaemon, and like, it's really cool. It works when it works. It's just very cloggy sometimes, but when it works, you win the game. So it's pretty powerful that way. Unfortunately, Venus doesn't get set +1 at any point in time because your Monzaemons only work on Monzaemons. That's fine. Venusmon's a boss monster. Venusmon's really good. We're not playing Platinum Numamon. I know some people will be angry at that, but the card's not needed. The card's poop, and that's fine. Okay, next we're playing 2 copies of Ruin Mode. Once again, you know, once your Venusmons and your ShinMonzaemons have done their job, turning it into a Ruin Mode to, again, put your opponent on a bit of a lock is very powerful. Basically, this deck is working to like floodgate your opponent, sort of. Between Chikurimons, Venusmons, and Ruin Modes, things get really awkward for Anubismon, and other decks as well. Ruin Mode is just an awkward card for any deck to deal with. So, Ruin Mode, 2 copies of it, pretty good card. We love to see it. It's a yellow vaccine. Doesn't really matter for the sake that it's yellow vaccine, but it's fine. It's cool. Alright, now we go to the Tamers. We're playing 4 copies of Satsuki Tamahimi. Security plays itself, start a main phase, you have your opponent's Digimon gain memory, and then you can mind link it, which is really cool during your main phase. It's all turns, inheritable, gives a jamming and reboot. At the end of the turn, you can unlink the Tamer, put it back on the battlefield. We play 4 copies of it mainly because it's good with the Numamon. It also can give you memory, which is good. You don't really have to play 4, but like being able to go Numamon rush for game with Satsuki is very powerful. I've done that probably a dozen times. It's a good Tamer. I have no qualms with it. I like that's in the deck. It's pretty cool. Okay, then we're playing 4 copies of this TK. This TK is the card that when you play it, you add the top card of security to your hand if you want to, and then you can play a vaccine card at the bottom of your security. Yes, that's important, because where all our 5s, all our 6s, and our Ruin Modes count as vaccine targets for TK, that gives us 18 targets for TK, which is fine. It's a third of your deck, basically. And then you get the memory back once per turn when you heal, and that's fine. That's what the card does. You need a TK to put the vaccine cards in security. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge for what's coming. But not until we talk about the last Tamer of the deck. 2 copies of TK and Izzy. I am not playing Memory Tamer in this deck. I am indeed playing TK and Izzy. Now, we're not playing Memory Tamer TK or anything like that because TK can fuck you up by adding soul black cards to your hand. You know what I mean? You do not want to be in a situation where you have 2 security left. You check TK and then you add a black card to your hand. That just feels really freaking bad. So you can't play TK in this deck. And you can't play Memory Tamer Kari in this deck because it's not a TK. So I've opted for TK and Izzy. It's basically a Memory Tamer if you think about it. Even if they put you at 1, because once you have a Venusmon on board, it's probably not going anywhere. Same with ShinMonzaemon to that effect. And then, normally Venusmon is really good at stunning level 5s and level 6s, and ShinMonzaemon's the same thing. So it can act as Memory Tamer sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. It's fine. But it's better than playing Memory Tamer that doesn't do much for the deck anyway. And it really needs to be a TK. It really needs to have TK in its name, because our last 4 cards of the deck are 4 copies of Emissary of Hope. It needs to have TK to recover with Emissary. That's why we need the TK Tamer. 6 targets for it is fine. And Emissary lets you cheat your 5s and 6s out of security, because they're all yellow vaccine. So you can turn a Numamon into a Monzaemon for free, or turn a Monzaemon into a ShinMonzae or a Venusmon for free. Sorry, it costs 1. My bad. It's a very good card, then you heal after. The security effect never plays Patamon because you don't have any Patamons in the deck, but it does go to your hand when they check it, and that's pretty fine. That's it. That is this wonderful abomination of ShinMonzaemon Yellow Vaccine deck profile, featuring a lot of black cards. Don't knock it until you try. I know I'm going to see people in the comment section knocking it. having played 0 games with it, I know it. But please don't be that person. I will roast you behind your back. You'll never know about it. And that's just a sad time for everyone. But what do you guys think about the deck? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys later. Bye!